There is one thing that Washington, D.C. does very well, one thing they do better than anywhere else in the country, and that's stealing from the rest of us.
State Senator Eric Brakey, you are running for Senate in Maine as a Libertarian Republican. What are you running on?
Well, the biggest question I ask everyone as I go across the state is, what city is the richest city in America? And some folks would say, well, New York City or Silicon Valley, or, where would this region be? But of course, it's none of those. It's Washington, D.C. The U.S. Census came out with information showing the 5 richest counties in America are all suburbs of Washington, D.C. And so the question is, how does that happen? Where'd the money come from? I mean, Washington, D.C. doesn't produce anything of value. They're not known for finance or agriculture or manufacturing. But there is one thing that Washington, D.C. does very well, one thing they do better than anywhere else in the country, and that's stealing from the rest of us. They steal from our paychecks with taxes, our future with debt, the value of our savings and our retirement every time they print new money out of thin air. And so my campaign for U.S. Senate is about standing up for the people back home. It's about fighting for the people of Maine, where I run to represent, and the people of America, the people who are being plundered from. Sadly, it's not just our money, it's also our very essential fundamental liberties that are being taken gradually more and more. We can see our Constitution being eroded, and sadly, it's both parties. It's the whole Washington machine. And so this campaign is about standing up for the people back home.
You've talked about $21 trillion in debt. Is getting spending under control your core issue? What's the number one thing you want to do if you get to Washington?
Well, I think that is the biggest existential crisis to our country, is the debt. $21 trillion in debt, $113 trillion in unfunded liabilities. That's $1 million for every single American taxpayer. I don't know many people who have an extra $1 million to hand over to Uncle Sam, but that's where we are. It's reckless spending in Washington, D.C. that the Republicans and the Democrats have participated in. If our country is ever to fall, it's looking more and more like it's not going to be from the enemy at our gates. It's going to be from the debts on our balance sheets.
Can a Republican win in Maine? Maine is purple, blue. It's not a Republican state, really.
We're a purple state, and Republicans have been winning in Maine. We have a 2-term, very conservative Republican governor. We have a Republican U.S. Senator. We have Donald Trump won the 2nd congressional district and came very close to winning statewide. In fact, if you take the vote for Donald Trump plus Gary Johnson, that was a majority of Maine people who came out and voted for either the Republican ticket or the Libertarian ticket. So as a Libertarian Republican, I'm betting we can bring that coalition together and we can win this November.
Okay, well, next time I'll meet you in your U.S. Senate office.
Hey, thank you, Matt.
Thank you, sir.